Hello everyone. Today, ScorchRToys@anymoon.com is taking a closer look at Bandai's DX VF-1A Kakazaki in his Do You Remember Love colors. This was Bandai's fourth release in their growing DX line and was only available via their Tamashii website to be shipped to Japanese residences. If you're looking for one, expect to pay the 18,000 yen MSRP, plus Japanese tax, plus a middleman fee, plus COVID premium shipping to your country. Looking for something else? Show your support for this channel by clicking through the link in the comments below to head to Big Bad Toy Store, where you can shop for your favorite toys from just about any other show. This toy would arrive at your Japanese residence in this shipper box. Inside was the standard retail box, which isn't always the case for Tamashii website exclusives, so it's nice to see. Opening the box, you'll find the same stuff you did with Hikaru's VF-1S. There's the pilot figure, 2 antennae for gear walk mode, one's just a backup, the gun strap, 3 pairs of Do You Remember Love style fixed posed hands, a pair of intake fan covers, a pair of Batroid mode side cavity fillers, a tool for disconnecting the hips in Batroid mode, a display stand adapter for Batroid mode, the arm of the display stand, and then a second tray housing the fighter and gearwalk mode adapters and the base of the display stand. Behind that tray you'll find the instructions, which would be where the contents ended on previous releases, but on this release you also get a set of water slide decals. Now, for a guy like me, part of the appeal of the DX line is that it has so much painted on detail I don't feel the need for decals, but for everyone else, these can be pretty cool. With these decals, you can choose to do the following. Correct the intentionally wrong squadron numbers on the vertical stabilizer. Customize the fast packs to match the pilot. Add the missing Jolly Roger behind the canopy glass. Deck out your bird in a scheme that would celebrate events from the show or movie. Ignore Macross Zero's existence and advertise the VF-1 as the first rather than third variable fighter. Repurpose movie-style fast packs for your TV versions. Deck out your plain or fast packs with kill counts. Or make the whole thing cuter with little min-mays. This being the fourth DX VF-1, I have 3 other reviews I have already done, including comparisons to Yamato's 160 V2 and Yamato's 148 scale toys, which I highly encourage you to check out if you are new to the line. In this video, I want to just spend my time focusing on 2 things. 1, what makes this toy different from the previous ones, and 2, the little nitpicks that I keep hoping that Bandai will address. So to start, let's take a closer look at the head. The head does have some nice detail, some camera detail within the visor. This is the first Do You Remember Love VF-1A head we've gotten. This was Max TV style head, and you can see it's got a little different visor in the front, little camera lens. There is no shroud around it, and the back doesn't taper off quite as much as we see on the Do You Remember Love version. So we have a different head here, but that is really the only difference to speak of. Articulation, everything is the same, and it's great. I'm not gonna belabor that point any. The nose cone has the same improvement we saw on previous toys. I think it started with Max's TV-1A, where there's a little lip on it so it doesn't flip over as easily as it does on Hikaru's VF-1J that let everything off. Now, beyond that, I was hoping we would see an improvement to this housing here. Now this housing, here you can see it on the Max TV-1A. You can pop this open and remove the bar inside. That frees up the hip swivel, but it pops open way too frequently, and just doing a visual comparison, it doesn't appear that anything has changed from previous toys. So it's still the same thing. I was able to transform my toy without the legs falling off, but it is still something that can probably happen a little too easily since that housing hasn't been changed at all. All right, let's check out gear walk mode and see what other improvements they've made, or what I would like to see improved on future releases. Gearwalk mode remains a highlight of DX toys. That heft of all that metal in the feet makes this mode very fun to handle in comparison to other VF-1 toys you may own. No real improvements to point out. A quibble I still have is these fins here, which flip around. Now, ultimately, there's going to be a GBP release where you're going to fold those over, presumably, assuming things keep going well for the line. But in the meantime, they can get knocked out of place, pulled out. They can be a little bit problematic. So it would have been nice to see some sort of a locking feature there, but not there yet. But otherwise, Gearwalk mode, still a lot of fun. There is this antenna piece. We can go ahead and plug that in. You saw it looked good without it. Looks even better with it. But if you want to see the full range of articulation and everything else, do check out one of my previous DX VF-1 reviews. Let's move on to Fighter. So do check out my other reviews to go over all the features like the wing flaps, the air brake, the opening canopy. I did want to just show you now that you do have that nicely settled in head. It looks very aerodynamic, one of the best looking VF-1A heads in fighter mode we've seen. Now every time I get a new DX toy, there's a couple things that I'm hoping at this point they will solve, and they haven't solved them yet with Kakazaki's plane. And those things are the arms do not peg in very securely. So if I take them right now, it's pretty easy to, well, even easier if I take off this display stand adapter. So let's get that off. But it's very easy now to touch these arms and have them come down. So the joint is stiff enough where it keeps them up normally, but if you're going to use the super parts in particular, things get ugly pretty quick. And so the problem here is that there's just two little pegs on the inside. Let's see if we can get those on camera here. There's two pegs up in there that are holding the arms in via slots, and they're just vertical pegs, and that doesn't work out very well. And since the arms actually have the ability to slide forward and back, what Bandai really ought to do is just make those pegs little hooks, and then you would slide the arm in and it would lock it in position, and then you wouldn't have to worry about them coming down like so. So that's something I keep hoping that they're going to implement. Again, without the super parts, not really a big deal, but with them, it becomes more and more of an issue. Similarly, if we take the leg out here, this peg doesn't have a lip on it. And so this slot, just a nice round slot, it goes in just fine, but if you put super parts on the vehicle, it doesn't grab well enough. So they really need to just put a lip on this peg to lock things together when you're using the super parts, which clearly sold separately. I mentioned earlier you do get a sticker to correct the squadron number on the vertical stabilizer. Here you can see it is clearly 012, and on the other side it is 210. And the reason for that is that we can fold these over, and Bandai says it's very nice and symmetrical when they're folded over if they misnumber one side. So that's the reasoning for it. It doesn't really make a ton of sense, but the sticker included now allows you to fix that. So we can flip this over. And then I wanted to show you again these pegs that go into the arms and how they're insufficient for what they're attempting to accomplish. And then we do receive this peg into this slot here. And it's, again, just insufficient for what it's attempting to do. It's really easy to knock it back out. And so I would hope that Bandai will address that on a future DX toy. Again, the fastpacks are sold separately, as are the missiles, and that's another couple complaints we could level at Bandai. And I've been nitpicking about some things that I would like to see Bandai improve as we get each release. But that being said, these are still the best VF-1 toys on the market. They handle very well. Yeah, there's a couple things that could be a little tighter, but it's not a frustrating toy by any means. You can handle it, you will enjoy it, and if you like Kakazaki's paint scheme, you should go out and grab it. Also, if you like getting those decals, those water slide decals, this is so far the only release that has them, so that might make it more attractive to many people out there. Check out the full article on anymoon.com. If you appreciated this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to keep getting that content, and thanks for watching.